Hi, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Armchair Keepers of Arcane Secrets. I'm Armchair Keeper #1, Matt Ryan, and I'm joined as always by
Bob Geis, #2.
#2. I shouldn't say as always now that I've done that
I know.
cartography thing.
I don't even want to talk about that. Bitter.
I told you I was going to do it. Okay, so
I don't know. It's emotions. The emotions.
I hate emotions. Here's the dealio. Bob and I are running. Oh, I don't have any of the props. Should I get the props?
Don't worry about it.
All right, good. I'm not going to worry about props. We're running the Call of Cthulhu epic campaign, Masks of Nyarlathothep, and we are running it in person for my group here in lovely, bucolic Ithaca, New York, and Bob is running it in his group in lovely, bucolic Fisher, Indiana.
Fishers.
Like Fishers with a Z. Fishers.
Sure. With an S, but it's pronounced like it has a Z.
And Bob had this idea. What show were we at? We were at Gamehole last year.
Year before. 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, Bob dreamed up this idea that we would run it for our in-person groups. And then I said, okay, but let's do a podcast. Let's do a podcast. And I would call what we do like a podcast.
It's definitely like a podcast.
Podcast-ish. And then we would talk about both how we're running the game, decisions that we're making, and recaps. We're going to do a recap for you today because Bob played. But one of the reasons we're doing this is because Masks is trickier than a regular stand-up campaign.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of options that are left up to the keeper, and we discuss those options, primarily how we tackled them.
Yep.
And then in the back of my head, Bob, the back of the old Beano, I'm always wondering, can a new keeper run Masks?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I mean, again, it's not, I wouldn't say it should be their first game, but I definitely think it's doable, right? You can parse this thing out in bite-sized chunks, and a new keeper can do this. Again, not their first game, but their first 5 games it could be, right?
First 5 games.
Yep.
And we will talk about that more once we get into the post-campaign commentary, because where we are is Bob, this Friday will be session number 23 for our group.
Wow.
And it is the finale, and it's been a 15-month campaign with us playing fairly regularly.
Yep. No, again, so and I'm going to do my recap. I'm going to do my recap right now. And I will say that I'm on my way tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. to GaryCon, where I will be running Call of Cthulhu with the YouTube and Cthulhu team, over the weekend. So we have 20-some events, 15 demos that we're running. So we're going to be busy at GaryCon, a show which we love. And then I come back, and you can see here, I'm not in the normal gaming space, right? See, followers, I'm in a normal.
Are there things that's going on, Bob?
Yes, I am.
Things going on in your life.
I am moving locales. I will no longer be in bucolic or bubonic Fishers. I will be moving a slight jog away.
To Weasels?
To Weasels, yes.
Weasels, Indiana.
I could move to Martinsville, right? Martinsville, but I'm not.
Indiana loves water rodents.
They do. We do. We're huge fans. I wish I'm Ferritin.
That's what they fed us. That's what they must have fed us when we thought we were having fish and chips.
Yeah. No, that was at GaryCon. We don't want to talk about that. That
was in Wisconsin. Oh, Wisconsin. Okay. So here I'm blathering.
We're blathering. Okay. So I got to tell you, Matt Ryan, about the incredible, incredible first episode in Kenya for my group, right? So
First
again,
proper episode, because they
first
fucked around in Mombasa.
we touched base. We touched our toe in Mombasa the end of the last session, but I wanted the whole crew to be there for the session. So
How
they
many
were.
players? How many players is the whole crew?
Let me see. So we've got six players. Six players.
That's respectable.
Yes, yes. And so they were all six were there. And and again, you sit down and you launch in Mombasa, and the big order of business. The first thing to do was, what are we going to do about the Eye of Light and Darkness? You and I have differing opinions on the Eye of Light and Darkness. So you are going to have your team do the whole shebang at the site over like 12 hours or something ridiculous like that. I don't like that idea.
That's exactly correct.
So what I did, I let them basically make the Eye of Light and Darkness, right? Do the ceremony on the Dark Mistress, right? On the boat, right? On the boat that they've commandeered from Sir Aubrey, which is now their ultra-fast vehicle that they're cruising the world with.
Hold the phone right there.
Mhm.
So they've horked
Mhm.
the nuclear vessel.
They have a nuclear vessel. Yes, and they are,
and they're using that to
Yes.
boat from Shanghai. Do they have a pilot? They've got a navigator and a pilot. And
Yeah.
all?
So you remember in the previous session, there was the boat battle, right? So the Dark Mistress intercepted the firm action boat, right? And there was the boat battle.
I remember.
so
I recall.
They used Houston and the captain of the Dark Mistress used the lightning gun to blast a hole in the firm action boat, and then they went from their boat to the other boat, and there was a boat battle, and they defeated the bad guys on the boat and took over the Dark Mistress, and that's what they used to get to Grey Dragon Island, and then from Grey Dragon Island over to Mombasa. So they've commandeered that vehicle for sure.
Okay.
And so there they are on the vessel, right, doing the ceremony for the Eye of Light and Darkness. And there's that wonderful passage in the description where it says that you have to invest the blood of an innocent to infuse the thing. And so you only have to do a little bit. You just have to fill the eye of the actual carving with it. But they don't know that. So I said, okay, everybody can roll their Cthulhu mythos, and if you get your Cthulhu mythos, you'll know how much blood is sacrificed. Nobody got their Cthulhu mythos.
Of course not.
And so now you and I both have had a player die on Grey Dragon Island. Actually, their character, not a player, their character die on Grey Dragon Island and adopt the Japanese agent, right?
Captain Isoge.
Yes, exactly. So both our groups did that. So the player whose character died is playing Captain Isoge, and so he is the innocent, right? The innocent one. And he was desperately trying to read a book to get rid of that innocence, but he didn't. And so the player did this wonderful thing where the character has 13 hit points. So I asked him how many hit points he's going to sacrifice for the spell, and so he picked up 2d6 and said, I'm going to roll this. So he could have lost 12 hit points and had 1 hit point left. He met in the middle and lost 7 hit points. So he sacrificed quite a bit of blood.
Almost a major wound.
Yes. So he bled quite a bit on this. And then I had them do the ceremony. And then they lost, like, I think it was 16 or 18 points of power. Not magic points, but permanent points of power to infuse the Eye of Light and Darkness. So it's basically primed like a bomb now, in effect, right? So what they have to do is they have to take this primed Eye of Light and Darkness and they have to put it in the spot, and then they have to intone the final words of power in order for it to take effect. So that's my take on it. So it's going to be more like a commando attack as opposed to some sort of ceremony thing. All right, so they go through all this, they do all of this, and they get to Mombasa. And they don't spend a lot of time in Mombasa because there's not a lot to do in Mombasa.
Not a lot to do.
But I did give them the Nairobi notes, the Nairobi notes of Jackson Elias that they
From New
got
York, from the New
from the
York
yes,
chapter.
and
So
they've
that gives
completely
them a lot of people to talk to.
yes, a lot of people, and they completely forgot about it, but it's interesting with the wonderful props from the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. There's so many of them. It's not logistically easy for players to hold on to the clues that they get, right? So basically, at the end of the session, I gather up all the clues and put them back in the box, right? So it's just a cleanup thing, and so they lose track of those sorts of things. And London is self-contained. Cairo is self-contained. Shanghai is self-contained for the most part. There's a few branching clues, but nothing like New York where it seeds out the entire campaign, right? So
Right.
you really do need to hold on to those New York clues because they really are all over the globe. So bottom line, he got, Colin, who is our number one note taker and clue distributor, got that, read it to the team. They got all their action items and all their places to go in Mombasa, in Nairobi. And then comes the train ride. The
Yes,
train ride.
that's right.
Oh,
That's right.
and so wait, I almost forgot. Colin, who's the young guy, his character George had 4 sanity at the end of the Shanghai chapter, right?
Now, did he get rewards?
He did. He's up to 16 sanity now. A tremendous increase in sanity.
Yeah.
But really, that's not very much sanity, right? So George is a little loopy, right? And so, and this is something I've talked about before. I want to make Alicia Masters more of a character, right? Because she's the final member of the Carlisle expedition that they have not had any contact with.
Yeah.
And I really, really want her to be more of a character. So in Mombasa, as they're going through, and basically just chilling, right? I have George, that character,
The investigator,
sees somebody across the room, and it's Alicia Masters. He sees her, right? He sees her. And again, it's like, wait, I recognize her. She's that girl from the way back when. Back when. I flash, again, because I have slides of all the NPCs, show him the slide. Oh my gosh, it's Alicia Masters, right? And then he goes to try for her. She's gone. She's gone, right? And so that happens. And again, it's like one of those things. I'm saying that she, in her very, very bad state where she's at, is she's obviously a little bit more than human these days, more than human and less than human, right? And so she's doing these sendings, and because he's so unhinged, he's susceptible to these things. So that's going to continue to be a thing. So
essentially, it's a dream sequence. You've just got kind of a different explanation for it being like a mental trick or a vision or a mirage.
So that's gonna, and it's working out wonderfully because he's already very unhinged, and so everybody else, is this guy crazy? Is he seeing things? Maybe, or is it really happening? So that's a nice little subtext there.
Now, when you do that, do you do that at the table so the other players can hear it?
Yeah.
That's what I do. I never leave the table. I never take anybody aside and whisper information to them.
I do sometimes. I mean, I don't, but this particular instance, I don't care, and I don't want it to. I want it to. The way I feel it is the clock's against me in this, and so I don't want it to be a subtle sort of thing. Now, on the other hand,
but you want to set the hook with other players, and that's essentially what you're doing is setting a hook.
On the other hand, though, with the other character, Yalisha, right? Remember, Yalisha thinks she is Queen Nitocris, right?
Well, you're hoping to turn that player against the party.
Oh, there's no hoping. That is inevitable. I mean, that is
something like that. I would keep quiet as well.
That is absolutely on the QT.
I would keep that quiet as well.
Yeah, and this he is playing it so close to the vest. There was a conversation because he received basically a message. And again, that's all in his head, right? Or all in Alicia's head, because she's making that up. So she received a message or an hallucination from Nyarlathotep saying that she needs to be present for the grand event in Kenya. And so earlier on, when there was discussion about where to go next, and some people were saying we should go to Australia, and I was saying, oh my God, I hope they don't go to Australia. Yalisha, fortunately, was very, very, very subtly pushing hard for Kenya, very subtly, but very effectively. And it was very nice to see that in action. So they steered the expedition to Nairobi.
Now,
But back,
and these really, what these all are, these are little prompts that we're doing as keepers. It's like a magic trick, right? We're seeding these little sleight of hand prompts
Yep.
to get the players to do what we want them to do without just saying, here's what I want you to do.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it's like one of those things I don't necessarily have a horse in the race, right? Again, I want the characters to take it where they take it. Like so
Except that we don't want to run Australia.
We don't want to run Australia. But I was glad about that. But no, with
no, I know what
Yalisha,
you mean. I know what you mean.
With Yalisha, I don't know where this player is going to take it, right? Because again, it is an insanity, right? And it is some players I think would resist it as opposed to lean into it, right? Try to get better.
Yeah, I think so too.
But others won't, right? And I've actually
or just sort of ignore it in general.
Ignore it. That's definitely something that players would do. And with this particular instance, I've given him a number of times where he can make a power roll, right, or a sanity roll at these juncture points. And if he was to succeed in these, I would say that you don't necessarily believe this completely, but he always fails them, right? So at the juncture points, when he could have this, this questioning, he doesn't. He always fails it. But in any case, we got to get back to the train ride, right? Because that's some super exciting stuff. I got to tell you. Okay, so like
you split them up. You split the party up because
yeah, and of course, on the way to the train, they see this little old lady, this little old Indian lady, right? Who's kind of there, right? And they just see her, right? They just see her, and they notice that she's looking at him, right? They notice that she's looking at him, and then they don't see her. They get on the train. That was like they were in the train, station, getting their tickets and all that stuff. They see her, and then so then they're on the train, and you're exactly right. My party is 3 and 3, right?
Okay.
So we have
3 are in the second class car.
Yep.
3 are in the first class car, and there's 1 or 2 cars between them.
Yeah. So exactly. There's the dining car, I believe, which is right in between them, right? So there's the engine, the tender, the flat car, the baggage, second class, dining, first class.
Yes.
Okay, so split up. So then they're going along, and I had the players make spot hidden on the second class car, and they notice the little old lady there, and so one of the again, not at all, 0% surprise, one of my players immediately goes and starts talking to her, right? And she pretends not to be able to speak the language, right?
Oh, that's pretty good.
And so, so time passes. I describe, how the less than ideal conditions on one car, the very ideal conditions on the other car, where they're having this wonderful meal and everything. And then stuff gets real. The fire vampires come to visit, and I would tell you, I found out very quickly, fire vampires are formidable. I did not think they were so formidable, but they do a lot of damage.
And they do lose an investigator.
We're getting there. They do not miss with that 85% chance to hit. So they hit often and hard. And it was they get on they get on there, and they're bouncing around, and they it was just bad. I mean, okay, make a sanity roll. Oh, you all blew your sanity roll. Okay, roll a d6. Oh, you all lost maximum sanity. Oh my gosh. So it was chaos on both parts of the group. And now remember, Captain Isoge already earlier in the game lost 7 hit points. So he is very much a wounded individual, and also was the victim of an attack by the fire vampires. Exit Captain Isoge immediately. He was burnt to a crisp in a second.
Now, the player that's playing this character is he's one of your regulars.
Yeah, he's a
So
great guy.
he can instantly transition to another. You can just hand him another character, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. And again, the perfect player for this to happen. The man is unflappable. I could do this 6 times in a session, and he would not shrug, right? So he gets fried in a second. They panic in the cars, and so they go through, and and like you, well, again, it says it right in the text that she goes into the loo and locks herself in and does her evil spell, right? And so
it takes a long time to do that spell, but continue.
Oh my gosh.
Continue.
So, and they're having this big fight, there and back, and they defeat all the fire vampires, but they still have no idea that she's in the loo, summoning these things. So it's like, all right, fine. It was too easy. We only lost one character. You see more of these things coming. It's like, oh my gosh, because other people another investigator had been badly burnt by them in the other group, so they had gotten their licks, pretty significantly. And so I finally had one of the characters, because again, I would have them. They were right at the juncture point of the dining car and the second class car. That's where all the
bathroom is, maybe,
right.
But yeah, that's where I put it.
Exactly, same. And so, and I told them to make listen rolls, right? And but everybody blew their listen roll because they couldn't hear her chanting in there. Which again, there's a lot of chaos going on. Finally, somebody made their listen roll, and they heard something weird going on in the loo. So they they knocked down the door, and there she is, doing her spell.
Yeah.
And the one guy who took action was playing Archie. Archie's one of the pre-gen characters who's the engineer, but he's also a very big man, right? And so it's like, okay, this is a physical confrontation between this little old lady and Archie is not going to go well for the little old lady. But I said, okay, all right, fine. We have to do it officially. Roll a fight brawl to try to get her. And this player is famous for rolling poorly, except when he needs to make the roll, right? 0-1 to grab the little old lady out of the loo and throw her off the train, which is exactly what he did. And so with that 0-1, I just said that she, the train was going on, and she met with a passing tree or something and got quite snapped in two, basically. So exit the little old lady and the threat, but it was a thrilling session. And they go into Nairobi, and and waiting for them this is very, very nice. We had one player who was playing one of the pre-gens, who was Dr. Arthur Digbin. I can never get his name right. He's a doctor, right? Pre-gen doctor, right? And that player had to drop out of the game. So the character was just kind of like hanging out there. So the guy who has played Ernie and then Asoge is now playing Dr. Digbin. And so we made the group decision that the doctor had left from England and gone directly to Nairobi to wait for them while they did their thing. So he was there to pick up. So it worked out perfectly. And those are the sorts of little things that you have to make. You have to do that sort of thing when you're running this game. You have to kind of come up with creative ways of working in new characters seamlessly, right? Because you don't want to spend a bunch of time, with a fish out of water thing, because it takes up precious playtime.
And you don't want people to say things like, well, I wouldn't know, I wasn't there for that.
Yeah, exactly. That sounded nonsense, right?
Yeah.
It dovetailed in really nicely, and it was a super fun session. But and so we left right, with them. Oh no, we didn't. We actually we landed there in Nairobi. They talked again. Did a really good job of cutting through the fluff in terms of the NPCs that they could have talked to. And they talked with Johnstone Kenyatta.
Yeah.
They got the basically the trek to Bundari.
Did they go?
They sure did. Without hesitation.
Did you play the HPLS?
Heck yes, I did. Yes, that's great.
Play the audio file. It's very good. Did you give them the fly whisk?
They did. They got the fly whisk and the little lizard, right?
And I didn't give my team the lizard.
All right. Well, I love the little lizard. I love the little lizard, right? I will guarantee, so they will definitely, yeah. I mean, the little lizard is fun. It's a grenade, right? It's a grenade that they get to use one
Well,
time.
kind of. I am not quite sure what it is, because I'll tell you what, though, it's tougher than a hunting whore.
Mhm. Yeah, again, so it will, if they use it, it'll be whatever I want it to be, right?
Kind of. I mean, you do sort of control. We, as the keeper, control the events of things,
Yeah.
and
So again, if they loose it on Nyarlathotep, that will not work. But if they loose it on like some cultists, it'll be fine. It'll clean them up really nicely. So, and that's one of the things that.
So where did you, not to interrupt, but where did you leave it? Where did you leave Nairobi?
That's where we left it, right? We left it right after that conversation with Bundare before they, really get into, because I didn't want to. It was late, and I didn't, and it was late, all right. So I didn't want to start on the expedition, then, right? Because one, I want to do my research. I want to do my research, and I want to have better maps in hand for when I do that. And
I'll draw you a map. I'll draw you a map.
have that expedition be more of a thing. And I will be in the new Geis Gaming Ranch, which is what I'm calling my new house, the Geis Gaming Ranch.
Gaming Ranch.
Yes, yes.
GGR.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and I want to do that, there when I get settled into the new place, and that's going to be a big deal. It's going to, and I can't wait, because again, I'm cruising up on the finale as well. So maybe 2 sessions for me.
So are you going to do a safari?
I don't know if I'm going to do a safari necessarily, but I don't want that trip to be, a hand wave sort of a deal.
You don't want to gloss over it, so you want to
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah, and again, I want, it's a culmination of a sort of thing, and one does not simply walk to the mountain of the Black Wind, right? So we have to do something with that journey, because it needs to be a big deal. And what again, we talked about this a ton, about making that a very, very creepy and ominous sort of a thing. So I want to give myself some time to think about that, and come up with some horrible things that the players are going to encounter.
Right. And if it takes 2 or 3 more sessions, I mean, you've got it, right?
But yeah, it's a tricky sort of a deal, because again, some of my guys, are hanging by a thread, right? And so I don't want to chip away at their sanity a ton, because again, then it's like kind of like it's the problem of running a game like this, right? Because it's a long game, right? And so you wear these characters down and out, and that's the thing about Cthulhu. It's not like D&D where your characters get more powerful. They may get more skilled, but man, they get frayed around the edges badly.
Well, yeah, they do. They do. Now, my team has I think through luck and through sanity rewards, they have decent sanity scores. I've got a lot in the 60 to 80 range.
Yeah.
So my team that's not, they're not fresh, but they're certainly not sort of weathered down to the single digits.
Yeah.
Except for maybe 1 or 2 of them. And again, I've got 7 players as well. But it's interesting, Bob. And then, and when, excuse me, when we close this, I'm going to ask you.
Yep.
And ask you to recall some of the highlights of your campaign.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And it sounds like that train is one of them. And I think that train is one of the highlights for me as well.
Yeah,
And
there's definitely high points in this campaign, for sure.
Definitely, there are definitely high points. And it's funny about where the high points come in. If you were talking about story arc, which sometimes writers will talk about story arc, and I think that maps okay over a game, but it's not an exact map, because again, I think a good game, the keeper should not have complete control over everything.
No.
I think a good game should have a variance where things that no one expects could happen.
Yep. I mean, this is a pretty tightly scripted game, I think.
Overall?
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of things that are going to happen, because again, I've run this 4 times.
Right.
I haven't been like, wow, I never saw that one coming. It's like, yeah, that pretty much happened. Again, it's nuances, but again, yeah, that pretty much happened. Yeah.
That'll be a bigger conversation too. The
Yeah.
fourth time running, is this sort of similar strokes all the way through?
Uh,
You don't have to answer right now.
yeah.
Don't
Yep.
answer
Yep.
right
Yep.
now.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That's
Yep.
I think that's an upcoming discussion because
For sure.
so this week, this Friday, I am going to end it. We've creeped up on the grand finale of my Kenya chapter, and I'm going to end this, and I've got a lot to do. And it's starting to gel in my head how I'm going to do it, which is nice. That
Yep.
essentially all I need is a bridge from the Eye of Light and Darkness ceremony to the birth of the spawn.
Yep.
I
Yep.
just need that bridge. And I think I've come up with it. And it's funny because it involves a map. It's going to involve a map, and it's going to involve a map that I will draw and I will give to you, but you're not going to do it the same way that
Yep.
I'm going to do it, which again presents an interesting map problem or challenge. Let's say challenge that I will talk about in one of my cartography chats about
Fantastic.
how I make a map fit both what I'm going to do with this situation and what you're going to do with this situation.
Right. Fantastic. I can't wait. Can't wait to see it.
Okay, so we're here. We went a little long, but again, we're at the end. We've got a lot to talk about. Bob, you're going to make an appearance at Gary Con that's coming up this weekend.
That's right. I'll be there 24 hours away.
Are your shows all sold out?
Oh yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, well, I hope you have a good time, and I hope you say hello to any of the gamers that you're going to play with that I might know.
Absolutely.
And then both of us are going to be mid-April. We're going to be at Calcium Con US.
That's right. We've got all kinds of crazy plans.
Oh, but we've got a live play thing that we're both doing. I think we've mentioned before. So thanks again, folks. Go ahead and like and subscribe this video. Share it with your friends. Share it with your enemies. Share it with everybody on your list on your social medias.
Right. Share it with your boss. They'll love it.
Bob, you're a good man, and I will see you soon.